Hello friends. So now we are coming to second video of our GST Scrutiny. In this video, I will try to cover up some of the guidelines issued by Kerala State that is applicable on SSEs or taxpayers registered with Kerala State, and then we will cover guidelines issued by CGST uh, applicable for all assessees pan India registered with Central. And as you all know, सबकी स्क्रूटनी नहीं होनी 1.38 लाख सॉरी 1.38 करोड़ रजिस्टर्ड एसेसीज हैं, सबकी स्क्रूटनी नहीं होनी। और इस रिस्क पैरामीटर में आते हुए जरूरी नहीं कि इसकी भी स्क्रूटनी होनी है। स्क्रूटनी सिर्फ उनकी होनी है जहां पर सॉफ्टवेयर एडवाइस करेगा, सॉफ्टवेयर आपका केस पिकअप करेगा और उसके बाद असेसिंग ऑफिसर मानेगा कि हाँ यहाँ पर गड़बड़ है, यहाँ पर चांस है। सो लेट्स कम टू द PPT. This has been shared with you. So one of the parameters for Kerala is ITC utilization more than 5 times of cash. Now I have issues with this. अगर आप इसको याद करें, in May 2019, 12th May 2019, SOP was issued for fake invoices, and in that SOP, it was said that if someone is paying uh, cash 5%, cash 5%, then it is not in risky zone. In fact, we have rule 86B which mandates that 1% has to be discharged in cash when, say, what we say, 50 lakhs above is a monthly turnover, and there are various guidelines. So 5 times cash का मतलब है 16.67% cash should be paid, which is very high. See, इतना नहीं हो सकता. And then they said that turnover above 1 crore, but cash payment nil. So when we understand this, so अगर आप याद करें तो we have seen recently that Tamil Nadu has also identified certain assessees जहाँ पर they have turnover above specified limit and paid very little cash or they have not paid cash at all. तो ये भी देखना पड़ेगा उन assessees के लिए. Now in this case, there could be genuine reasons. For example, if someone is a new business, so उसने पहली बार ज़्यादा supplies ली होंगी, you would have received more goods, or you have added a new factory, or you have added a new showroom or a new warehouse, then of course it could be possibility that you have not discharged any liability in cash. So there could be genuine reasons. एंड देन दे से टर्नओवर अबव 60%, तो ये थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट की बात कर रहे हैं कि भैया जो 60% से ऊपर एसेसीज हैं, जो टर्नओवर्स जिनसे 80-20 पेरेटो एनालिसिस अगर आप देखें, सो ये उनकी बात कर रहे हैं, एंड दे शुड बी स्क्रूटनाइज्ड with respect to whether they are having some risk or not. Two-way 3B ITC comparison. Now, I don't understand why the department officer thinks that there should be comparison between 2A and 3B ITC, because GSTR 2A was not mandatory during those periods. If you remember that on 18th October 2018, press release was issued और जिसमें कहा गया था that GSTR 2A is only for helping assessees. It is not going to give you, not mandating anything with respect to say ITC eligibility. And we have a press release of GST Council also, which said that tax has to be recovered from seller. I will discuss this point later on. But again, we have this thing, and they cannot force us. Now, one of the point it ITC availed after due date. So coming back to 2A 3B ITC comparison, this is not required, and this should be replied with suitable legal grounds. Now ITC availed after due date. जब ITC availed after due date, now they are linking ITC with respect to section 16 subsection 4 timelines. Now we have two views of experts. Again, this is a hardship, but if you go to service tax era also, वहाँ पर there was a time limit to claim ITC within 90 days. Now in GST we have almost 180 days. September due date. So September due date file returns in October. Of course, we have got AAP and company judgment from Honorable Gujarat High Court, which was overturned by Supreme Court. Oh, these time limits, when we talk about two group of experts, one say these time limits are valid, and second, of course, they have a judgment from Honorable Madras High Court, which says that these time limits are valid because it cannot be left open for everyone to claim ITC anytime. But then the second group says that this is a hardship and this should not restrict my right. In my view, ITC is a procedural benefit, and these time limits prevail. For 17-18 the time limit was extended to March 90. तो आप उस time limit का ध्यान रखिए. Now there are case of capital goods ITC versus exempt turnover. So if you have exempt turnover, तो आपको rule 40 to 43 में reversal करना होता है for capital goods utilized for these supplies of exempt goods. But if you have not reversed, then these are the cases. Now IT GSTR 1, GSTR 3B mismatch, or if there are ITC 1 and 3B में कोई mismatch है, then it has to be taken care of. The view of the department would be that if your IT GSTR 1 turnover or supplies are more than GSTR 3B, then you have not discharged your correct output tax liability and there is a short payment of it. There could be genuine reasons also because of credit notes. GSTR 3B versus e-way bill. Now there was no e-way bill requirement for 17-18. Whenever I say 17-18, so that means from July 17 to March 8. Because for 17, from 1st July 2017, the GST was implemented. So it will come only for 18-19. Turnover less than TDS and TCS. Now, this was also not applicable for first year, 17-18, and it was in next year. Now, TDS and TCS से mismatch आएगा ही आएगा. There are genuine cases because my tax liability, output tax liability comes from on accrual basis vis-a-vis when we talk about TDS and TCS. These are on cash basis. Whenever they discharge, they make payment to you. Therefore, वहां पर फर्क आएगा ही आएगा. You have to prepare a reconciliation statement. Now, नेक्स्ट इज सेंट्रल जीएसटी. जो सेंट्रल जीएसटी की है, तो उसके दो स्लाइड में मैं कवर करूंगा. देयर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ पैरामीटर्स. फर्स्ट इज ineligible ITC claim from non-genuine taxpayers whose RC is cancelled from the very first day. Usually, whenever department cancels someone's registration, they cancel it from the very first day. Now, in these cases, what has to be done? This has to be cross-checked, and in whenever you see ITC, तो उसमें लिखा होता है that, for example, his RC is cancelled on 1st of June, but 1st of June 2022, but that has been cancelled with effect from 1st of July 2017. तो वहां पर लिखा आएगा GST registration has been cancelled from this date, on this date, from that date. So we have certain judgments of various high courts in IDT regime. जो मेरे जजमेंट्स हैं वो मैं आपको यूजुअली व्हाट्सएप पर दे रहा हूँ. सो डोंट मिस दोस व्हाट्सएप. तो उसमें उन्होंने कहा कि विदाउट दिस, इफ द जीएसटी रजिस्ट्रेशन कैंसिल्ड आफ्टर दिस ड्यू डेट, बट कैंसिलेशन के बाद के जो इनवॉइस इशूड हैं, यू आर नॉट एलिजिबल फॉर आईटीसी ऑन दोस. बट से 1st जून को कैंसिल हुआ फ्रॉम 1st ऑफ जुलाई, तो 1st ऑफ जुलाई टू 31st May. So this is a valid period. इस पीरियड के आईटीसी डिनाई नहीं करा था, तो दीज आर हाई कोर्ट जजमेंट, यू कैन कोट व्हेनेवर डिपार्टमेंट राइट्स टू कैंसिल इट, एंड ऑफ कोर्स यू हैव टू गो with supporting documents and all other things. Excess ITC we have discussed, outward this we have discussed. Ineligible ITC from non-filers. So section 16 की चार basic conditions है that you have receipt of supplies, means goods or services or both. You have tax invoice or other equivalent document. Taxes has been paid to the government and you have filed a return. So if someone has not filed his GSTR 3B, that means he has not discharged his tax liability और उसने गवर्नमेंट को पैसा ही नहीं दिया है. Now, there are two views which can be taken. First view is कि भाई मेरी तो कोई गलती है नहीं, I had paid taxes and they should be held responsible. So the seller, the money should be collected from the seller. Of course, we have supporting judgment for that also. Then we have a second type of experts कि भाई इन्होंने अगर टैक्स पेमेंट नहीं करा है, then you are not eligible for ITC. Now, if the amount is substantial, then we should litigate the matter. And this is as per May 2018 GST Press Council, GST Council press release also, which they have said that first ITC should be recovered, or the amount should be recovered from the seller, and honest buyer should not be punished. The problem is that जितने भी पुराने लॉज हैं, मे बी आईडीटी में किसी भी स्टेट वैट के हो, दे मेक डिस्टिंक्शन बिटवीन they distinguish between honest buyer, a genuine one, and dishonest one. So, in my view, only in case of collusion or fraud, ITC should be denied in these cases. Otherwise, in case of genuine supplies, first department should try to recover money from that person. If they are not able to recover from money from that person, then they should come to honest buyer. They should not cast all the liabilities on the honest buyer. Again, I had shared judgment and other details for this case also. Recently, last week ही एक judgment आया था. S कुंदरू करके कुछ है. I don't remember the exact name, just forgetting. And then interest on delayed payments made with GSTR 3B, that has to be cross-checked. If you have filed any 3B late, then interest liability has to be cross-checked. लेस टर्नओवर ये मैं देख चुका, ये मैंने पिछली स्लाइड में डिस्कस कर लिया है. एंड आरसीएम लायबिलिटी, अब whenever supplier makes GSTR1, उसमें वो टिक कर देते हैं if they are registered that they are making these supplies as per forward charge or reverse charge. If they say that this is on the reverse charge and your GSTN is provided, तो आपके GSTR2A में दिख रहा है. And if you have not discharged that RCM liability, then this is a problem. ITC after 16/4 deadline we have discussed. ITC on purchase invoices uploaded by supplier जिसने GSTR1 16/4 की ड्यू डेट के बाद फाइल करी. फॉर एग्जांपल, मैं एक मिनट के 1920 की बात कर रहा हूँ, तो आपके सप्लायर ने 1920 की अपनी GSTR1 से सितंबर के रिटर्न के बाद से दिसंबर 2020 में फाइल कर रहा है. अब दिसंबर 20 के 2A में आपके दिख जाता है. सो यू आर नॉट अलाउड टू क्लेम दैट ITC because that is beyond time limit. So कई बार लोगों ने ऐसा भी किया है that they thought that someone has filed their return today, so they are eligible to take credit today, and they say that he has paid he has discharged his liability with interest and penalties and late fees, so I should be eligible for total claim. So these are humanitarian grounds. इक्विटी कॉन्सेप्ट पर अगर हम बात करें, जस्टिस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बात करें, तो बिकॉज ITC has been, so the taxes has been received by the government, you should be allowed to take credit. But again, when we talk about legality, so this has issues. And I leave it to your wisdom whether you should claim it or not. If you ask my personal view, then you are not allowed to claim this ITC. And then ICE gate से अगर इंटीग्रेशन नहीं है, वैसे भी आइस गेट से अगर कुछ आ रहा है तो वो आपके GSTR2A में दिखना जरूरी नहीं है. सो एंड देन एक्सेस ITC availed from ISD and RCM more than liability shown So these are basic provisions which you should, these are risky parameters, और अगर ये risky parameters हो जाते हैं then you should have then you have a greater chances कि आपका GST केस जीएसटी स्क्रूटनी में आपका केस पिकअप हो सकता है. आप किसी एक केस में फंस रहे हैं, दैट डजंट मीन कि 100% आपका केस स्क्रूटनी में उठाया जाएगा, और इसके अलावा भी कुछ और इसकी चीजें हो सकती हैं जिस पर आपका केस स्क्रूटनी में पिक हो सकता है. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि नहीं पिक होगा अगर आप इसमें किसी में नहीं फंस रहे. दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन द artificial intelligence and data analysis. But these are the specified norms, so you have to be very careful while dealing with this. And along with the parameters, I have discussed the how you could handle it. And in my next video, I will try to compile or discuss the issues which have not been discussed in this. I hope you like the video, and would be available on YouTube, and of course with the link to you only, and on the WhatsApp groups. If you have any views on this, or if you want me to cover any of the point, then please do let me know. I am available with you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.